Behind Dutch Headlines, the who, why, and how of politics and media in the lowlands.
Hi, I'm Greg Shapiro. Here's what you need to know to join the Dutch conversation. This week, a Dutch cup of Joe is becoming a cup of Udo. The Dutch 12 provinces are dropping down to 5? And in the process of elimination, Friesland, will they keep their own name? Our first headline, German JAB investors to take over Dutch Douwe Egberts. What's behind the headline? Well, it's a bit hard to explain. Let's back up a step. Internationals, I know. We've explained how to be Dutch. We've talked about the Poldermodel. We've talked about the monarchy. But there's a third element of the Dutch holy trinity, and that is koffie. Now, if you're at work, your boss comes up and says, "Bakkie doen?" That means cup of coffee, and even if you've just had a liter of coffee in the past hour, you still have to go with them. It's a Dutch tradition. The French drink wine, the Chinese drink tea, the Dutch, they just drink coffee. Gezellig. Now, the household name of coffee in the Netherlands is Douwe Egberts. They're like the Starbucks of the Netherlands. Ask anybody. Most people will tell you their stories of saving the labels of Douwe Egberts coffee, clipping out the little proof of purchase, and saving up for their own coffee jar. Ask your own older friends or colleagues, and they will tell you their love affair with Douwe Egberts with a tear in their eye. They've been around since 1753. 10 years ago, it was Douwe Egberts who teamed up with Philips to create the Senseo coffee machine. And more recently, they've made those little knockoff Nespresso cups, which are very successful. And last year, Douwe Egberts went public. It was a matter of national pride. But that also means it's open season for the highest bidder. What is happening in the Netherlands? How can we lose our own home brand of coffee? All the best Dutch footballers get sold off to the highest bidder. The bank, ABN AMRO, gets bought out by Royal Bank of Scotland. And now Douwe Egberts is going to the Germans. But don't forget, like the Royal Bank of Scotland deal was rather short-lived, maybe once the Germans actually taste the Senseo coffee, we'll get Douwe Egberts back. Our next headline, Dutch cabinet announces plans to reduce the number of Dutch provinces. What's behind the headline? Well, of course, the Dutch government is charged with the responsibility of reducing costs wherever possible. And they think they can maximize efficiency by reducing the number of Dutch provinces from 12 down to 5. How will they do that? Well, it's down to Home Affairs Minister Ronald Plasterk of the Labour Party, and clearly he's got his hands full. We would like to help him figure out which provinces should get their own identity and which ones should be forced to merge into the other provinces. We call it nothing other than a good old Dutch-style reality show, The Choice of Holland. Welcome to the first installment of our new game show. The contestants are all lined up, 12 Dutch provinces trying to argue why they should keep their own identity. Well, the first candidate is up here, and it's Friesland. Friesland, bad news, you're fired. Good news, you have 30 seconds to convince us why you should keep your name and identity as a province. Let's start at the top. What's so great about Friesland? Well, first of all, they've got the Wadden Islands. They've got more water than any other province. They're all about water, and they're frequently voted the most beautiful province in the whole country. More than that, they love the water when it's frozen. Yes, they've got Olympic gymnast Epke Zonderland, but the more important athlete that they've got there is Sven Kramer, the speed skater. Remember that sport that most people from the other parts of the world don't really watch because it's just going around and around in a loop for hours on end? These guys love that. In fact, they love the 11 City Skating Tour. The last one they had was in 1997, but when it freezes enough, these guys go crazy for skating. And heating things up again, you've got Doutzen Kroes, the famous Victoria's Secret model and one of the best paid and best known models in the modeling world right now. So it looks pretty good for Friesland. But what do the judges think? Let's go to the jury, a 3-member panel made up of Ronald Plasterk, the Home Affairs Minister, Donald Trump from The Apprentice, and me. First up, Ronald Plasterk, who is known for saying things like, well, it's not for us to decide. We want it to be your decision. So if you want to stay, then, that would be good. Or if you want to go, it's up to you. And let's go to Donald Trump. Aren't you the ones, Friesland, who just came up with Dalva Egbert's coffee, who just got sold to the Germans? You're fired! And the deciding vote is me. The thing to remember about Friesland is their fierce independence. They have their own identity, their own language. They even have their own passports. They would love to be kicked out of the Netherlands, which is exactly why, Friesland, you're staying. That's it for this week. We'll be back with more Behind Dutch headlines and the Choice of Holland next week. And if you want more news, listen to our podcast. I'm Greg Shapiro. Thank you very Dutch.
Behind Dutch headlines.